making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you can keep going, keep going. If you need to stop, stretch, rest, stop, rest whenever you need to. If you're seated, as usual, see if you can find that lifted position that allows you to breathe better. So instead of sitting hunched, compressing the diaphragm, so forcing yourself to breathe apically, breathing from the top of the chest. See if I can try and create a little bit more space, and then allowing a little bit more space for the diaphragm to descend and create a more relaxed breath. If I'm laying down, then I've got all the space I want, using something under the head to support the head if you want to, allowing the arms to come down the side, palms to turn to face up to the ceiling. The legs can be straight or bent, whatever feels more comfortable for your hips and lower back. And then focusing on that nice easy belly breath, so feeling the belly expanding with the inhale, relaxing with the exhale. I'm going to practice the usual scan over the body. So just noticing how the body feels. Is there any niggle anywhere? Do I feel straight? Do I feel slightly wonky, slightly twisted? Is the pressure underneath the hips, if I'm seated, the same? Is the pressure behind my shoulders, behind the hips, if I'm laying down, the same? I'm not changing anything, just noticing where everything is and how I feel to begin with. Then once that I feel a little bit more settled, I feel a little bit more aware of what's going on through the body, then I'm just going to start off with a little bit of mobilizing through the spine. So I'm just going to start with some neck rotation. So I'm going to turn to look around one, turn to look around the other side, turn to look around one, and to look around the other side. Keep the rotation going, and then as usual, comparing right with left side, comparing the position of the head. As I turn one way, my chin drops. As I turn one way, my chin lifts. Just noticing difference between right and left side. With the corner of your eye, checking that you're not taking the shoulder with you, especially if you're seated. The tendency is to try and turn from the rib cage if the neck is a bit stiff. And then whether the movement is small or big, I'm not going to force it. So I don't want to create any pain. Not referred pain through the arms either. So no tingling into the fingers, no tingling into the hands. And then as you keep the rotation going, see if you can notice where you're leading the rotation from. So if I don't think and I just go straight into the rotation, I can feel it that is coming from the back of my neck. The back of the neck tenses, creating that rotation. And then same thing happens to the other side. See if you can shift your focus. So instead of trying to rotate using the neck, see if you can rotate using your eyesight. So can I turn my eyes to the right and then just follow them around with the head? Then turning back to the center, can I turn the eyes to the left and then follow around? And then see if you can notice difference within the movement. It might feel the same. I might find that, yeah, if I actually lead with the eyes, the neck feels a lot more relaxed. It doesn't feel so stiff. It doesn't feel so loaded, so tense. 2. 1. And releasing back, returning the head back to the middle, adjusting the head. From the neck, I'm going to move through the thoracic spine. So if I'm seated, the best thing is to cross the arms onto the chest so they're not getting in the way. If I'm laying down, I'm going to stick them out to the front. And then taking a deep breath in, same as I did for the head. See if you can play with the rotation. So see if you can turn, leading with your eyes. So I'm going to start looking around, and then I'm just going to follow with the head and the shoulders this time. Then come back to center. I'm going to look around the other way, follow with the head, follow with the shoulders. Then back to center. Then see if you can think of leading with the head. So I'm going to turn the head, turn the shoulders, back to center, turn the head, turn the shoulders, back to center. And then finally think of leading with the shoulders. So I'm going to turn the shoulders and just follow with the head. Coming back. And then same to the other side. So I'm going to try and keep changing the focus each time. So see if I can try and use all the possible lead that I can to create that movement. So if one goes missing, if my neck locks up, I can still use my shoulders to rotate. If something happens to my upper back, I can still use my head to rotate. So I'm still kind of like prepared to create that movement. From laying down, exactly the same. I'm just going to swing and turn one way, swing and turn the other. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, adjusting the back. And then I'm going to focus a little bit further down. I'm going to focus into the lower back. Instead of rotation for the lower back, I'm going to use a little pelvic tilt, a little flexion, extension. So if I'm lying down, it's easier as I've got the mat underneath that guides me. I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to press the lower back gently into the mat. And then I'm going to rock forward back into neutral. So I'm going to tilt and release the tilt. It's a nice easy movement to feel in the back of the pelvis, rocking gently forward and back as if I was trying to massage it. If I'm seated, exactly the same. Unfortunately, I don't have something to guide me behind, but see if you can just to think of your lower back moving. And your upper back is staying pretty much as still. So the changes are at the bottom of the spine. So I'm going to try and draw the belly in. And then I'm just going to try and lift myself back up. So I'm going to round the lower back and then extend through, round and extend through. So still rocking gently over the seat bones as if I was trying to massage my sit bones moving forward and back. As I feel the movement that starts feeling a little bit easier, a little bit smoother, then I'm going to see if I can try and hold slightly. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to come back into neutral. I'm going to tilt again, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come back into neutral, tilt and hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back into neutral, one more time, tilt and hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, adjusting the hips, relaxing the back, is just a little bit more movement through the all of the spine. From the spine, I'm just going to do a similar thing to warm up into the shoulder joint. First thing, I want to try and get a little internal and external rotation. So I'm going to reach the arms long by the side, and then I'm going to start twisting them in as far as I can. So I'm going to rotate the all of the arm one way, and then I'm just going to rotate it the other. So I'm going to try and wind it in and then rotate it out. Comparing right and left side. Changing the coordination. I can go in with one, out with the other. In with one, out with the other. just playing around with the arms. I can do one arm on its own, and then the other on the other side. Again, noticing difference between right and left side. So I might find that one side wants to kind of like bend, the other side can't stay straight. I'm going to try and straighten both. I find it's easier to go one way than it is to go another. I'm not forcing anything. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulder. So I've got a little bit more movement in the shoulder joint. I'm going to see if I can try and expand that movement. So I'm going to start going into a little circles, one arm at a time. So I'm going to focus on the right arm first. I'm going to start bringing the right arm up to the front, and then I'm just going to circle it round the side to come back. Then I'm going to reverse that circle. I'm going to go round the side and then back down at the front. Then up at the front, and then round the side, and then round the side, and then back to the front. So changing the direction of the movement each time. Imagine to have pencils instead of fingers. I'm going to try and draw circles in front of me. So it could be a little circle, it could be a big circle. It's whatever the shoulder allows me to do without pain. If I'm seated, the arm will start becoming really heavy really quickly as I'm working against gravity, so I might need a little rest in between each circle. If I'm laying down, it's slightly easier as the arm feels relatively lighter to move. 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, relaxing the arm down by the side, relaxing the shoulder. I'm going to try the same thing with the left. So same, I'm just going to bring it up at the front, to take it around the side and back, and then reverse, around the side, and then back to the front again. So same as I did on the right, without forcing the movement. As I'm working with one arm at a time, if one side is a little bit stiffer than the other, then I can take advantage. And then with the stiffer side, I can still move, but with a slightly smaller range, that is not going to upset the shoulder, that is not creating that grinding, that catching in the shoulder, and then eventually it's going to start becoming uncomfortable and then giving me pain. 5, 4, 3, 2, last time, and release it back. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. So a little bit more movement into the shoulder joint. I'm going to come down into the hip joint. Similar to what I did with the shoulder, I'm just going to try and loosen up the leg a little first, and then I'm going to gradually see if I can go into a slightly bigger movement. I'm going to bend the knees and then set the feet roughly in line with the hips. So they're not too far, they're not too close together. Just a standard, easy distance. Then from here, I'm going to pull the knees in. I'm going to try and squeeze the knees together. And then I'm going to try and pull them out. I'm going to squeeze them together and then pull them out. So see if you can think of the femur, so that the thigh bone moving in and out gently into the hip socket. So I'm just trying to unstick the hip, or see if I can try and get some movement. And then same as I did with the arm, I can do both legs. I can try and do one and then the other. I can just play with the combination. And then if I feel that, as usual, one leg is a bit temperamental, so I doesn't want to go there, I'm just going to guide it. So I'm just going to use the hand, I'm going to guide it there. And then I'm just going to open out again. If the problem is opening, I'm just going to use the hand to again guide it and then close it back. So playing with the hands to help me move and then allowing me to relax. So see if you can think of not a movement that is stiffening and locking the hip, but that is just going to be really so stiff that it feels that all of the body is moving together. See if I can think of a nice loose movement where the leg is kind of like quite floppy, quite relaxed. I'm allowing the hip joint to move, to warm up and to relax. If I'm laying down, careful when you open, make sure that you're not creating pain on the side of the hip. So there is no pinching in the hip, there is no pain or pressure in the back. 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. So I feel that the hip is a little bit more relaxed, so it feels a bit more manageable. I'm going to see if I can start encouraging more range in the hip joint. So if you need a little support, I'm going to put the band behind the right leg. And then I'm just going to support it with my arms. So if I'm laying down, I'm just going to raise the legs so that the knees pointing straight up at the ceiling. And then I'm just going to start guiding that leg into little circles. Same as I did for the in and out. Don't think of a too big movement that is just going to end up making you stiffen up into the hip even more. Think of a little movement that is going to allow the hip to relax a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reversing the circle, going the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Relaxing the leg, allowing the arm to have a little rest too. If I've been using the arm to help me move the leg, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing to the left side. So if I need a little support, I'm just going to set the band behind that left knee. And then exactly the same as I did on the right, just to see if I can find that nice, easy movement into the hip joint. So nice, easy circle. If I'm seated, the foot doesn't even need to lift off the mat. Just relaxing into the hip as much as I can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reversing the circle, having a little rest if I need one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Relaxing the leg, you're relaxing the arm, making sure that I've not created tension or stiffness into the shoulders, into the neck. So it's a little bit more movement into the hip joint as well. So everything is kind of like moving a little bit more. I'm going to see if I can start coordinating a little bit above and below. So imagine to have a little magnet that goes right to right, left to left. I'm going to start going with my magnet to the side. So imagine with your right hand to be connected with your left leg. I'm going to open the right arm, right leg. I'm going to open the right arm out to the right, and then I'm going to try and follow with the right leg. Then I'm going to close back to center. I'm going to open that left arm and that left leg. Close them back to center, and then swap inside again. So little movement, big movement, making sure that the shoulder stays relaxed. I'm not shrugging, I'm not tensing through the neck. If I'm laying down, exactly the same. I'm going to start with one arm, both arms up. I'm just going to open right arm, right leg. The hips are staying on the floor. Come back to center. Left arm, left leg. Come back to center. Right to right again. 3. Finding that breath that works for you. Making sure that you're breathing, not holding the breath. 2. 1 more time on each side. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the hips and releasing the shoulders. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. So I've still got my magnet to right, left to left. But this time what I want is to go up and down or forward and back. So with the right arm, I'm going to start reaching up and behind. With the right leg, I'm going to try and lift away. Then coming back. With that left arm, I'm going to go up and behind. With that left leg, I'm going to try and lift away. And then back. So imagine a string method this time. See if I can puppet the legs with the arms. So as usual, whether I'm seated or lying down, the leg is quite heavy to lift. So it doesn't matter if I can't lift it fully, just to see if I can find a connection to the front of the hip, or see if I can try and make it work, or see if I can try and make it twitch a little bit, make it connect a little bit to create that lift. 5. 4. 3. 3, 2, 1 more time on each side. And releasing back, relaxing the hip, raising the shoulder. I'm going to go back to that lateral movement, but this time I'm going to reverse the effort or change the effort. Instead of moving arm and leg on the same side, I'm going to move arm and leg on opposite sides. So I'm going to move my right arm with my left leg. So I'm going to bring the right arm to the front, and then I'm going to open the right arm to the right, and then the left leg to the left. Then I'm going to squeeze them back to the center, and then swap sides. So I'm going to open the left arm to the left, the right leg to the right. Back to center, and then swap inside. So again, I've got the hand free on that side of the leg that is moving, so I can again encourage it, guide it in the direction that I want to travel. If the leg is a little bit stiff, if it doesn't want to go, if it doesn't want to move. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the hips, and then I'm going to go back for coordination, front to back again. Same as I did for the side to side, I'm going to work across. So again, it's my right arm that moves with my left leg this time, my left arm that moves with my right leg. So this time the string is crossing over to the opposite leg. I'm going to pull the string with my right arm, that left leg comes up. I'm going to pull the string with my left arm and my right leg comes up. So I'm just going to try and lift, release, lift, release. So if you're seated, imagine like a slow motion walking. So I'm just going to try and walk, walk, or even better, imagine a slow motion running. So again, see if I can find the connection to the front of the hip, see if I can create that little twitch, the little tension, the little lift. And then if I'm laying down, exactly the same. So if I've got the control over the legs, I can really exaggerate the movement as if I was trying to bring the knee right up to the chest before putting the foot back down. 5, 4, 3, 2, Last time. And releasing back, relaxing the hips and releasing the shoulders, giving the shoulders, the hips a little roll. So I feel a little bit more, hopefully a little bit more connection to the front of the hip, to the inside, to the side of the hip. What I want to focus on this time is the back of the hip. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to extend the legs away. If I'm seated, I'm just going to stay in my seated position. And then I'm just going to focus on a little gluteal squeeze. So I'm going to clench the right bum cheek, relax, clench the left, relax, clench the right, clench the left, clench the right, clench the left. So if I'm laying down, as I squeeze with the right bum cheek, the muscles tenses underneath, and then it pushes the hip up slightly on that side. As I relax, it falls back down. As I clench the other side, it pushes the other hip, and then it drops back down. If I'm seated, it's a similar movement, but instead of rocking the pelvis this way, it's this way. So as I clench the right, I can feel that the right hip pops up slightly. As I relax, it drops. As I clench the left, it lifts and then drops. As usual, if I find that I don't seem to be able to isolate, I can't clench one, and you've got to clench both sides. Do clench them both, just to see if you can find that connection. And then once you feel that both sides are tensing, then see if you can focus more on one than the other. So eventually, gradually try to disconnect them or to separate them. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relaxing back, allowing yourself to relax back to the middle. So I've got that tension, so I can feel it twitching a little bit, I can feel it connecting a little bit. I'm going to try and see if I can use it to create a little drive, a little push. So if I'm seated, as usual, I'm just going to bring the feet a little bit closer to the chair, and then leaning forward into the legs, squeezing with the back of the bum. See if you can think of your seat bones or your hips are becoming lighter on the chair. So see if I can try and lift them up slightly, and then I'm going to sit back down again. If I'm lying down, I'm going to push myself up into bridge. So pushing down through the soles of the feet, I'm going to squeeze with the back of the bum, driving the hips up, and then I'm just going to ease them back down, driving them up, and then ease them back down. So opening up through the hips, a little lift, a big lift, it doesn't matter. Just making sure that the drive is coming from your hips and not from your back. So I'm not trying to push my chest to the ceiling. I'm trying to push my hips to the ceiling, and then coming back down again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the hips, so releasing the legs. This is a little bit more connection through the all of the hip. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of a lengthening now, so just a little bit of a stretching. I'm going to start off with a little bit of a upper back stretch. I'm going to reach the hands around, or reach the arms around the front, interlocking the fingers. Imagine a balloon between your arms that is gradually inflating. I want to contain it, I don't want it to go out. So I'm going to hold with the arms, and then imagine the balloon gradually inflating between your arms. So think of the elbows pulling out the hands pushing forward. I can feel the shoulders separating at the back. I'm going to hold the balloon, allowing the chin to drop to the chest if I'm seated, keeping the head relaxed onto the mat if I'm lying down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm just going to let it go, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the back. I'm going to try one more time. So I've got the stretch right into the center of the rib cage. I can feel that opening through the center of the rib cage. I'm going to play with that stretch. So I'm just going to reset the arms in the same position. And then same as before, imagine the balloon expanding between your arms and you're desperately trying to contain it, try to hold it. When you start feeling that opening across to the chest, across the back, then see if you can start to move in the arms and just slightly up and down. As I move the arms up and down, the stretch changes on the back. So see if I can find the one that is giving me the better relief. 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. And then I'm going to do the same, but in reverse. So this time I want to open up through the chest. So if I'm seated, as I've got space behind me, I can use the strap behind the hips. Even if I'm laying down, I can use the strap if I want to. I'm just going to hold the strap by the side of the hips. And then from here, what I want is to squeeze the shoulder blades together and then reach the arms down towards the bottom of the chair. So see if I can really lift and open and then stretch across the front. If I'm lying down, I'm going to do the same. I don't really need the band. I'm just going to try and squeeze the shoulders, lift the rib cage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, adjusting the arms. So it's a little bit more opening across the front of the chest. I'm going to see if I can get the arm involved a little bit more. I'm going to reach the right arm straight in front of me. And then with the left arm, I'm going to hold onto the forearm or onto the arm, not the elbow. And then I'm going to gently try to hug the right arm across the front of the chest until I can feel the stretch going around the shoulder into the upper back. I'm just going to hold it gently. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. I'm going to stick the left arm out in front and then hold it with the right hand onto the forearm or onto the arm. I'm going to hug that left arm up towards the chest, or down towards the chest until I can feel the stretch going around the back of the shoulder towards the middle of the back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then same as I did with the extension with the band, I want a little bit more opening across the front of the chest. So this time, think of the same movement, so that lift and opening, but with the arms. Imagine somebody has grabbed hold of your arms and is pulling them back. So I'm just going to turn the palms to face forward and then see if I can send the thumbs to the wall behind. So I'm going to try and open up as much as I can. If I'm laying down on the back, I'm going to take the hands to the back of the head And then pushing the rib cage up to the ceiling. I'm going to try and see if I can let the elbows drop onto the floor too. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, and then moving down into the legs. If you're lying down, make sure that the knees are bent. I'm going to shuffle the feet and the knees nice and close together, and then I'm just going to let the knees open out and away from each other. So if you're lying down, you can just use gravity. So I'm just going to let the weight of the leg pull down to the ground. If I'm seated, unfortunately, gravity can't help me. So I'm just going to use my hands. I'm going to use the hands on the inside of the legs. And then I'm just going to apply a gentle pressure outwards to see if I can think of lengthening, take some of the stiffness off the inner thigh. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. And then working on the side of the leg, side of the hip. If you're seated, I'm just going to walk the left leg out to the left a little bit more. So I'm just going to move it out of the way. And then the right leg, I'm just going to try with my left hand to pull it across until I can feel a gentle stretch coming down the side of the hip. I can't go very far with this one if I'm sitting down. If I'm lying down, I'm just going to move my left leg out of the way, and then picking up the right, I'm going to gently pull it across until I can start feeling the stretch coming down the side of the leg into the side of the hip, side of the bum. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back, relaxing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to cross the other way and then gently pulling that left leg across. It's a nice stretch that from the side of the hip comes up along the side of the leg towards the knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the hips and releasing the legs. If you're down on the back, I'm just going to roll over onto the side and then slowly pushing myself up into sitting. Finding a comfortable seated position, leaning onto wall or sofa if I feel that I need a little support behind, or taking the arms, setting the arms behind the hips. I'm going to find the seat bones and trying to lift myself up, and then same as we did at the beginning. See if you can think of creating space, but this time I'm going to do it in an exaggerated way. So I'm going to try and lift the ribcage away from the pubic bone. I'm going to try and lengthen the belly. I'm going to lift and push the chest forward. I'm going to flick the shoulders back, let them drop down, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then I'm just going to release, come forward. Letting the chin drop to the chest, the shoulders come forward. I'm going to roll my way forward, roll my way down. And then I'm curling back up again. Extending through, pushing the chest forward. Dropping the shoulders back and down, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then releasing, coming forward. Last time. Extending out. As much length as I can. And releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back.